What if you can create human beings from the ground up? What if they're able to do it from the ground up? What if you can grow your own human beings like they did in Brave New World, only from the ground up? So you can have, okay, here's our worker people, here's our scientists, here's our school teachers, here's our this, here's our that, here's our women that we breed just for eggs, for the ectogenesis chambers. That'd be about all you'd need women for, would be to harvest eggs. And of course they'd be bred to believe this was a beautiful life that they were doing and this is what they're for.
I'm always kind of critical of religion. I mean, I think there's good aspects to it, but I'm kind of critical of it. I mean, personally, I think the Christians should be doing more to heal the world. I think more of them should be actually walking the path of Jesus rather than waiting for Jesus to come back and save them. I mean, you know, the whole thing, trust God's plan. He's going to save you. Just sit back, wait for it to happen. The world has to turn to hell on earth. There's nothing you can do about it, but once it all gets really bad, someone's going to come and save you. Don't do anything. Just sit there. It's all good. Just pray. Don't do what he did. Don't actually act like him. Wait for him to come back and save you. Trust the plan. Look, in many ways, I think both are correct. You know, people are doing the best they can in their own spiritual progress, but they're scared. You know, the cognitive dissonance that most people have is out of fear. You know, people are literally scared to stand up for themselves. You know, they want to, they know something's terribly wrong, but they want to see someone else doing it first before they're game to actually put their face out there. You know, they just kind of want to see the consensus to change and then they'll go with the flow. And that's okay. You know, a lot of people are going to be like that. That's the way people have traditionally been. You know, a lot of people are just sort of filler material in some way. And people will just go where the general consensus goes, you know. And even, you know, people's lack of involvement, their tolerance of wrong behavior, as Mark always puts it, this is the result of programming, it's a result of fear. You can't really blame them for it. Now, I feel pretty sorry for the human race, the way we've been led into this predicament, and the fact that it seems so insurmountable to people, when it's really not. You know, the problem is people are looking for external solutions all the time, and the solution is within them. You know, change your perspective, change the way you interact with people, stop tolerating wrong behavior, always operate within the parameters of your moral compass, and you'll change the world. That's how it works, you know. You know, it's a ripple effect. If we didn't tolerate all this stuff, it wouldn't happen, you know. If some legislation is put in place which causes us to step outside our moral compass, we just do it. We think, well, I have to, it's the law. Well, hang on, it's not law, it's legislation that someone's written there, which is actually in direct opposition to real law, to natural law. So what's it even doing there? You know, we don't question it, we don't vet it, we just go along with it because we're scared to think outside the box. We're scared of what will happen to us if we question it, you know. I see this as a huge opportunity for us to kind of adopt that spirit. And no, that isn't New Age thinking. You know, people have been so programmed into saying that anything that doesn't agree with King James is New Age. And I think that they put it all there just so people would think that, folks. I really do. I mean, I see this as a huge opportunity for freedom. I see this as a time when the human spirit can really rise into what it is supposed to be. A time when we can really see how we're being played and what this world actually is. So that's what I'm hoping will come about from this, folks. But as I've often said before, folks, don't let yourself fall into the negative mindset and the negative spirit through all this. This is such a huge opportunity. And your life itself is a prayer. As I've said so many times, there's a conversation going on between you and reality. Every minute of every day, you're having an emotional conversation with reality, and it's mirroring back to you the state that you're in.
I used to really annoy the teachers because I didn't do any of the classes. I wouldn't attend any of the classes, but I'd find out what all the topics were, and I'd go to the library and I'd read all the books, and then I'd come and do the exams and I'd pass the tests. And they really hated that. And then when I did attend the classes, I'd just argue with them all the time. You know, they'd say something and I'd say, excuse me, I've just read a book on that exact subject. And what you're presenting the class with is the most commonly accepted theory on that subject. You should be presenting that as the most commonly accepted theory and giving us all the other theories and possibilities on that subject and letting us make up our own mind. That would be real education. And they used to hate it. So I ended up with my own desk outside the principal's office for my last 6 months of high school because no class would have me. And I was sitting there halfway through my exams in grade 10 and I just went, what the hell am I doing here? And I just walked out halfway through my exams and became a musician and travelled the world and never looked back. Had a great time. I thought, well, life is art, so I will do the art of my life, whatever that is. I will be myself, I will express my art and I will see what happens, you know. And I got to travel around the world, I got to research all the ancient history and all the stuff that I wanted to research just by playing guitar. And if I wasn't doing that, I would have been sitting at home playing guitar. So it worked out pretty well, you know. And I've got all these people, they used to sort of pay to travel around the world, and I used to get paid to travel around the world. That was pretty cool. I used to work about 5 to 6 hours a week and make more money than most of the other people were making because they were musicians. We kind of had it pretty good back then before the industry was regulated and the government got hold of that one too. But you know, back then I could see, you know, we create our own reality. And this reality that we've got now, we've created it. We've created it ourselves. All this mess that we're in, we've created it. Mainly by our preoccupation with other things, which is what this society is very, very good at doing. Giving us all sorts of stuff to entertain ourselves with, so we don't really pay attention to our life. Very often we're living other people's lives vicariously through the television set.
Now, we are all artists in our own right. And if we are free to explore our creative potential and express our creative potential, imagine what we could create. And that's how I think we created all that stuff. But I don't think we ever could have done it had we been subject to the rule of kings for the whole time. Do what you're told, go to work, get paid, pay your taxes. Why would we ever build anything beautiful in that environment? Look at us now, we're certainly not building anything beautiful now. We might build what we consider to be wondrous architectural achievements, but they're these great ugly looking metal and glass buildings. But they're not artistic, not like the stuff we used to build. And I don't really see how we could ever have built any of that stuff if we've been subject to this feudal culture that we've come to perceive to be our history. And to believe that this is why it's always been, yeah, it was just people sort of vying to get to the top of the pile and killing each other and taking over countries, and we've always hated each other, and it's always been a world of war. If it's always been a world of war, I can't see how we would have ever built any of that stuff, folks. The more you realise that, like Napoleon said, history's a lie agreed upon. And they just made the whole lot up, folks. They made the whole fucking thing up.